Good morning students. So this is class 11th physics and I'll be discussing the assignment solutions of chapter number 6, that is work, power and energy. So let us begin with the first question of assignment. Okay, so the first question says two equal masses moving along same straight line with velocities 3 meter per second and minus 5 meter per second respectively collide elastically. Then you have to calculate what will be their velocities after collision, right? So we are given u1 and u2. So because the collision is elastic, so we will be using conservation of linear momentum and conservation of kinetic energy, and therefore we will calculate the final velocities. So conservation of momentum is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. m1 and m2 are given to be same, so we are putting it to be m only. Okay, so m1 u1 will be 3m plus minus 5m. So this will give you minus 2m is equals to m v1 plus v2. So we have calculated v1 plus v2 from here. Now for here, again we are using the conservation of kinetic energy. From this you will get this equation, and just solve the two equations. You will get v1 and v2 to be minus 5 meter per second and 3 meter per second. That is, after collision the velocities of the two particles are just interchanged. Okay, so in the second question it is given a sphere of mass m which is moving with the speed u hits with a stationary collision, hits with a stationary sphere, that is, it is at rest initially. Then the question says the second sphere also has same mass and the coefficient of restitution is given to be E. You have to calculate the ratio of velocities of the two spheres after collision. So let us suppose after collision they have velocities v1 and v2. Okay, so again using conservation of momentum will give you mu is equals to m v1 plus v2. From here v1 plus v2 will be equal to u. Okay, so as you know, coefficient of restitution is defined as relative velocity of separation upon relative velocity of approach. So the relative velocity after collision will be v2 minus v1 and this will be u. From here v2 minus v1 will come to eu. Now you have two equations, solve them to get v1 and v2. So when you will solve them, v2 will come to be 1 plus e into u upon 2 and v1 will come to be 1 minus e into u upon 2. So just calculate the ratio, that is v1 upon v2, that will come to be 1 minus e upon 1 plus e. Okay, so the third question says water is falling from a height of 100 meters at a rate of 100 kilogram per second. See the units, they are kilogram per second, that is you are given dm by dt. Okay, so you have to calculate what is the power delivered. Now you know power delivered is work done upon time taken, that is dw by dt. If the water is falling from a height h, so work done will be mgh by the gravity, because see force is mg and the distance traveled will be h, so force will be work done will be mgh. So gh is constant, it will come outside of the differentiation and you will be left with dm by dt. Now you know g, you know h, you know dm by dt, put the values, you will get the power to be 10 to the power 5 watts. Okay, so the next is question number 4. In this it is given a block of mass m is pulled along a horizontal surface by a force at an angle theta with the horizontal. So let us suppose this is a block of mass m. We are pulling it by a force F at an angle theta with the horizontal. So we can resolve it. It will be F cos theta this side and F sin theta this side. Okay. Then it is given the coefficient of friction is mu and the block suffers a displacement d. So you are given displacement and coefficient of friction. Then you have to calculate the work done by the applied force. See, as I have told you in theory lectures, work done by the perpendicular force to the displacement is 0. So work done by F sin theta will be 0. There will be only work done by F cos theta. So work done will be force into displacement, that is F cos theta into d. But for that we have to calculate value of F, because F is not given in the question. So we have to calculate value of F. For that we will be forming equations of motion. Okay. So first of all, in y-axis if we see, mg will be acting downward and reaction will be there due to the surface. So if you form the equation of motion, that will be r plus f sin theta is equals to mg. And for here, if this block is moving, that means this F cos theta is either greater than or equal to F. Because see, if this force is less than friction force, then the block will not move. And if the block is moving, that means it is either greater than or equal to, and we will be taking equal to case. Okay, so now as you know, so mark it first equation, mark it second equation. Now you know force of friction is mu r, and r from here will come to be mg minus f sine theta. Also, if you see from here, f cos theta is equals to f. So I am putting f to be f cos theta equal to this. From here, calculate value of capital F, that is applied force. So that will come to be mu mg upon cos theta plus mu sine theta. So now as I told you, work done is f cos theta into d. Cos theta in d will remain as it is. Just put the value of f from third equation, that is mu mg upon cos theta plus mu sine theta. So this is the work done. Okay. Okay, so next is question number 5. In this it is given a car is moving along a straight horizontal road with a speed of 72 km per hour. There is force of friction between the road and the tires, which is given to be 0.5. Okay, now you have to calculate the distance, the shortest distance in which the car will be stopped. That means its final velocity should be 0. Okay, now let us calculate the acceleration of the car, or you can say retardation, because if the final velocity is coming to be 0, that means there will be retardation in the car. So as you know, again from here, see, r is acting upward, mg is downward, force of friction will be backwards. Let us suppose the car is moving with acceleration a. Now if you form the equation of motion, this f will be equal to ma, right? And force of friction is nothing but mu r is equals to ma. R is again mg. So from here m will cancel out, a will come to be mu g. Put the values, you will get 5 meter per second square. I am using minus 5 sign because it is retardation. Okay, so now using the equation v square minus u square is equals to 2as. V is 0, u is given to be 72 km per hour, so I have just converted it into meter per second, so that will be 20 whole square is equals to 2as. So from here calculate s, that will come to be 40 meters. So this is the shortest distance traveled by the car. Okay, so the next is question number 6. It says a body of mass 1 kilogram strikes elastically with another body at rest. That is, let us suppose the mass of first body is given to be m1, that is 1 kilogram. Let us suppose the mass of second body is m2, and because it is initially at rest, that means u2 is 0. Okay, now you are given, let us suppose the initial velocity of m1 is u1. Then you are given after collision the first body travels with the 1/4 of its initial velocity. That means v1 is nothing but u1 by 4, that is 1/4 of initial velocity. And let us suppose final velocity of mass m2 after collision is v2. Okay, so now again, because the collision is elastic, we can use conservation of momentum and conservation of energy, and you have to calculate m2. Okay, so again m1 is 1, so m1 u1 is u1 plus u2 is 0, m2 u2 will be 0 is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. From here you will get that m2 v2 will come to be 3 u1 by 4. So mark it first equation. Now using conservation of energy, again half m1 is 1 u1 square plus half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. Again you can solve it, you will get this equation from here 50. This is just mathematical solving, you can easily do it. Okay, so 15 u1 square upon 16 will come to be 3 u1 4 into v2. Okay, now u1. Okay, one more thing, in this step I have put it the value of m2 v2 from first equation. Okay, so m2 v2 is 3 u1 by 4. So m2 v2 will be 3 u1 by 4, and you will be left with 1 v2. Okay, so now you can easily solve it. u1 will cancel out, so v2 will come to be 5 u1 by 4. Mark it second equation. Now from this put the value of v2 in first equation. So first equation is m2 into v2, that is 5 u1 by 4 is equals to 3 u1 by 4. Again u1 will cancel out, 4 will cancel out, so m2 will come to be 3 by 5, or you can say 0.6 kilograms. So this is just I am using conservation of momentum and conservation of energy. and just we are doing mathematical solving. Okay, so you can do anything to get m2. Okay, so next is question number 7. In that it is given the displacement and the time are related by this relation. Then you have to calculate the work done in first 6 seconds. Okay, so for that, as you know, work done is force into displacement, and F can be written as m dv by dt. Okay, because A is dv by dt. So from here, work done will be force into displacement, that is m dv by dt dot ds. Now again, ds by dt, look at this, as you know, ds by dt is v. So work done can be written as integration of mv dv. Now mark it first equation. Okay, now you are given t is equals to under root x plus 3, or I can write it as under root x is equals to t minus 3. Now I am differentiating this equation. So just for differentiating it, use the formula of power. This is x to the power 1 by 2. So the formula is power will come forward and 1 will be subtracted from power. That is, you will get 1 upon 2 into under root x. And because I am differentiating this equation with respect to t, so therefore I will be having dx by dt. If I was differentiating it with respect to x, then dx by dx becomes 1, but here I am differentiating it with respect to time, because dx by dt will be v, so we will get velocity from here. Okay, so dx by dt is equals to dt by dt will be 1, and differentiation of constant is 0. Okay, so from here dx by dt will come to be 2 into root x. Now dx by dt is nothing but v is equals to 2 root x. Now from here, look, root x is t minus 3. Again put the value of root x. So v will come to be equal to 2 into t minus 3. Now again see this formula. Our formula is work done is integration of mv dv. We have mass, that is mass is some constant. We have value of velocity. Now we want dv. So just differentiate this equation. dv will be equal to 2 dt. Again differentiation of constant will be 0. So from here put the value of v and dv in first equation. Okay, so now work done will be equal to mv, that is 2 into t minus 3, into dv, that is 2 dt, and our time limits is given from 0 to 6 seconds. So just solve it by taking m outside. This will come to be 0. When you will put upper limit, this will be coming to be 0. So that means work done is 0. Okay, so the next is question number 8. It says a particle of mass m is at rest, is acted upon by a force p for a time t. Okay, so you have to calculate the kinetic energy after an interval of time t. So as you know, kinetic energy is half mv square. So we have to calculate final velocity first. So F is equals to ma, where F is equal to given to be p here. So p is equals to ma. From here acceleration will come to be p by m. Mark it first equation. Now as you know, v minus u is equals to at. So use that equation. U is given to be 0. So v minus u will be v is equals to a, that is p by m into t. So we have calculated final velocity. So kinetic energy will be half m v square. Again m will cancel out. So you will get p square t square by 2m. So this is your kinetic energy after time interval t. Okay, in question number 9, you are given a ball moving with a velocity of 6 meters per second, that is u1, strikes with another ball which is at rest, that is u2 is 0. After striking, both the bodies moves at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal. Okay, so now you have to calculate what are the speeds of the ball after the collision. So for that, we will be using conservation of momentum and energy. Now initial momentum in x-axis is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to, if you will resolve it, you will get m1 v1 cos theta plus m2 v2 cos theta in x-axis. So now cos 30 will be root 3 by 2. This is also cos 30. It is given in question, root 3 by 2. Okay, u2 is 0. So this term will become 0 and this will be 6m. Okay, so from here you will get 12 is equals to v1 root 3 plus v2 root 3. Now you can either use conservation of energy or you can use conservation of momentum in y-axis also. Okay, so by using those two equations you will get this answer. v1 and v2 will come to be 2 root 3 meter per second. Okay, so remember, because your momentum is a vector quantity, so I have used conservation of momentum in x-axis. Now you can use conservation of momentum in y-axis also. Okay. Okay, so question number 10 says, a man takes 1 minute to raise a box of 1 meter and another man takes half minute to do so. What will be the energy of the two? See, because they are lifting the mass from the same height, so the work done will be mgh, and this work done will be equal to their energy. That means the energy is not depending on time, so we can say energy of both the men is same. Okay, so in question number 11 you are given there is a spring whose length is L and spring constant is K. Then it is stretched by a small distance x. After that, it is again stretched by a small distance y. Then you have to calculate what would be the work done in this one, that is in doing the second stretching, that is while we are stretching from this position to this. Okay, so first of all calculate the work done in this one. As you know, work done is work done is stored as potential energy of the spring. So in first case, work done will be half kx square because x is displacement. In second case, see, the total displacement is x plus y. So the total work done for the second displacement is, that is half k x plus y whole square. So now look clearly here. This is the work done for x displacement. This is the work done for x plus y displacement. But in question you are asked what is the work done in second stretching. So work done for the stretching of y will be equal to this one minus this one. That is work done due to this stretching minus work done due to this stretching. So only this will be left, right? So that is half k x plus y whole square minus half k x square. Solve it, you will get the answer to be half ky into 2x plus y. Okay. Okay, so the next is question number 12. It says when the spring is stretched by a distance x, the work done is 10 joules. That is half k s square is equals to 10 joules, as I told you earlier in question number 11. After that, it is asking what will be the work done in a extra displacement of x only. So again, this is your W1, W2 for the displacement of s plus s, because see, s is the initial stretch. Now we are stretching it by s again, same as we did in 10th question. 11th question. So that will be half k s plus s square. Now you have to calculate work done for this only. So that will be equal to half k s plus s square, that is W2 minus W1. This is given to be 10. This will come to be 30 when 40 when you will solve it. So 40 minus 10 will come to be 30 joules. So this is the work done. Okay, in 13th question, you are given there is a body of mass 5 kilogram and the displacement and time are related by s is equals to t square by 3. So you have to calculate the work done in 2 seconds. Okay, so again, work is force into displacement. Okay, so first of all, let us calculate acceleration, because for work done we need force, and to calculate force we need acceleration. So if I differentiate is, I will get velocity, that is ds by dt, so that will be 2t by 3. Again differentiating it, a will give you dv by dt will give you a, so a will be dv by dt and its differentiation will be 2 by 3 is constant, it will come outside, dt by dt will be 1. Okay, so now work done is force into displacement, that is ms5, a is 2 by 3 into displacement. See, displacement is given by t square by 3 and you have to calculate at 2 seconds. To just put the value of t equal to 2 here, so that will become 4 by 3. So displacement is 4 by 3, so you will get the answer to be 40 by 9 joules. Okay. Okay, so next is question number 14. It says that there is a ball which falls from a height h with initial speed u. After striking, it loses 50% of its energy and it rises to the same height. Then you have to calculate the value of u. Okay, so first of all, let us calculate what will be the energy here. See, at this point, energy would be mgh due to height plus half mu square. But it is given after striking, the energy becomes 50% of initial energy, or you can say it has lost 50% of its energy. So we can say at ground point it will be having 50% of its initial energy, that is at energy at this point. So that is 50% of mgh plus half mu square equal to, now when it will again rise to the same height, let's say the height is h, so the energy will become mgh. So that means we are just using conservation of energy here. This is at ground point where it has lost 50% of its initial energy, and after rising to a height h, it will be having this energy, right? So now just put all the values, you know g, you know h. So from here you will come to be 14 meter per second. So that means this was its initial velocity. Okay. Next is question number 15. It says that there are two springs of spring constant 1000 Newton per meter and 2000 Newton per meter. Then you have to calculate the ratio of the potential energy stored in the both when they are stretched by the same force. So if they are stretched by the same force, that means K1 x1 is equals to K2 x2, because you know restoring force is Kx, right? So now potential energy of 1 will be half Kx1 square and potential energy of 2 will be half Kx2 square. Sorry, K2 x2 square. From here K1 x1 is equals to K2 x2. Half will cancel out. K1 x1 upon K2 x2 will also cancel out. So you will get x1 upon x2. Again from here x1 upon x2 is K2 by K1. So x1 upon x2 is K2 by K1. That will be 2000 upon 1000, that is 2 by 1. So this is the ratio of potential energy stored in the two springs.